We have the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints going into overtime for the Saints' first win of the season. Who's excited?
Yeah. It wasn't pretty, but hey, we won in prime time. I had a good feeling about it because for whatever reason, I mean, Breeze just steps up his game in prime time usually.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember specifically last year. I
Right.
think it was Monday Night Football. Saints beat the Packers prime
Yeah, it
time,
was.
and a game
That
that I don't
was.
think
I think that.
should
No, I
have
think that was
happened.
Sunday too. But
I mean, it was Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. Wow. Right.
Yeah.
What an ending! I think I sent you a message where I'm like, we had this whole day of football that started at like 8:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and it lasted until 10:30 or so that night, and it like just felt like a climax, especially for me since it was my team. But like the day of football ended with like an overtime 80-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
Quickest overtime I think they've said ever in the regular season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 13 seconds, two plays.
Well, and
So
then I think the biggest thing going in is Breeze' 400 touchdown
right,
pass
right.
and
Well, he
everything.
he had a 400th touchdown pass and his I think was it 5,000th completion or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were both touchdown passes, which was
Right.
cool. So yeah, Breeze actually was on track before he got hurt to get to 400 touchdowns before Brady. But
Yeah. That's
they're neck and
another.
neck.
He's the youngest player so far in history to hit the 400 club. So
Right, I'm
it's
sure Rogers will break that, but
well, Rogers I think is at he was at 250 something before the season started. By now he's at 260, maybe low
right.
270s.
But he's like 4 or 5 years younger, right? So it'll be close.
Yeah,
It'll be
good
interesting
point.
down the stretch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a good game. Uh, it had some dull moments, periods where it was kind of just a little back and forth, slow defensive action.
Yeah.
But it picked up, and it ended up being a good game. And you know, I mean, as far as I'm happy the Saints won, but looking at it realistically, they beat, they barely beat a very beat up Dallas Cowboys team.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's a win. Maybe it can get them, get some swagger, get some momentum going forward. Just getting a win finally, getting over that hump. But you got to look at it for what it is, and it's not the best win. You know what I mean?
It was a much needed win for the Saints, definitely.
Right.
And you did pretty much kind of answer my next question was going to be is would this game have gone differently with Tony Romo and Des Bryant in there?
And
I don't want to like put
uh,
too much uh, on just two specific players because it is a very team effort and everything.
right.
Joseph Randall, I think, was playing pretty well overall, like
Sure.
he pretty much has been. Uh, I guess the one thing I questioned right away, I think back in week two, was are the Cowboys a good enough team to still win games without their two, big stars? And so far, they're 0-2. And I
Right.
think that's really troublesome for the Cowboys because I mean I think we both predicted the Cowboys to win the division. Maybe you predicted the Giants. I know I
I
predicted.
got the we had it switched. I had Giants and
Yeah,
Cowboys wild card.
and
Uh,
I was predicting the Cowboys to win a division, but at this rate, I don't think they can. And
you know
I
what?
mean
At
maybe they
this
still
rate,
can, but it's by the time Dez and Romo come back, it almost might be too little, too late.
well, it's funny because the Eagles aren't even out of the picture yet. The
True.
NFC East is all 2-2 right now, except the Eagles who are 1-3.
Yeah.
So the Redskins actually hilariously are tied for first, which I don't think that's gonna keep up. But
It's almost like the NFC East is the new NFC South this year.
well, it's always close, man.
True.
Always close. I think before the South really bombed, you had the West had some bad years, but before that, the East was getting in, going like 8-8. I think the Giants were 8-8 when they won the Super Bowl last time, right? Or maybe 9-7. I know it was right there.
Yeah.
but maybe both times actually. They might have been 10-6 back in '07. I don't remember.
Oh
Oh,
seven,
seven,
they're
they're
10
10
and
and
6.
6.
I
I
remember.
know.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, the NFC East is. I think I said it was the most interesting NFC division as far as
The
just
most competitive,
the
definitely.
most the hardest to pick a winner.
Yeah.
Projecting winners, because like I said, the Eagles or even the Redskins are still in position that they could somehow make the playoffs. It's not the craziest thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
definitely. It's going to be a definitely long stretch. I think the Cowboys organization all around have to really figure out some adjustments. It might help if there are maybe some easier matchups, but then again, going against the Saints, they probably thought this would be an easy matchup for them.
Right.
But you're also going against a team that has been very hungry for a win since pretty much week one. So,
Saints and Cowboys games though, they're very unpredictable. They either tend to be like incredibly close or just a flat out blowout. I
yeah,
mean, from last few years, like last year the Cowboys blew out the Saints. The year before the Saints blew out the Cowboys. I remember there was a Thanksgiving game that was pretty much just as close as this game was
oh, I
a few
remember
years
that
before
too.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great game. But uh, for whatever reason, if they underestimated the Saints going into this, that was probably stupid.
right. Well, and then you
You know,
got your main, Breeze is back. That's kind of
right,
the
right.
biggest.
Breeze
Because
he saves the game, right?
yeah, and not only with Breeze coming back, but you have three defensive players coming back within the
Right, our
next few
defense is starting to
weeks,
get more healthy,
and
which will help us tremendously, I
right,
think.
especially with divisional games coming out.
Right.
I think that should be able to help the Saints a lot. And you're saying how like Philly isn't necessarily out of the division yet. Maybe even the Saints,
I
but
don't
that's
think
kind of
we're out.
harder with two
Right.
undefeated teams.
If this was
Also in
last
the
year, we might be in first place. But
league.
but, yeah, with two undefeated, the NFC South has really surprised everyone. I think with two undefeated teams,
Yeah,
and the Saints, they're looking a little better. I'm not, the Saints and the Bucks. You can't technically count them out yet. It's too early, but they definitely have an uphill climb.
yeah,
Keep winning games though, and good stuff happens. That's
yeah.
the bottom
Well,
line. If
uh,
they can keep winning, the Saints have a rough next few games, but the schedule gets a little bit easier going forward.
aren't the Saints going against Philly this coming up week?
Yeah, Philly, who's also 1-3, so that's pretty much it's more of a do or die situation, I think, for the Saints than Philly.
Yeah,
Maybe Chip Kelly's feeling the heat more than Sean Payton, but as far as like divisional standings, Philly loses this week and they're still not really screwed.
yeah, that's true.
Worst case scenario, they're 2 games behind instead of just 1. The Saints lose this week, and realistically, they're going to be 4 games behind.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference.
Well, it should be a very good game to watch. I think a lot of people. Will
Yeah,
be
it
looking
might be
forward
the
to
best game out of 1-3 teams.
Yeah, for two losing teams, it might be the most interesting
Yeah.
game to watch. So hopefully we'll be looking forward to that, and we'll cover it next week. Again,
Sure.
we'll be putting the link for our Facebook